Latham Foundation, for the promotion of humane education, presents The Wonderful World of Brother Buzz.
Oh, my gosh. Will you please cut that out?
Oh, I can't help it.
She ought to take singing lessons. Oh.
Hi, Bonaparte.
Oh, hi, Brother Buzz.
Can I hear the joke, too?
Joke? What joke?
Well, hasn't someone told a funny story?
No, but I could sure use some cheering up.
Then what was all the laughing about?
Laughing? Oh, that laughing.
Yeah, I heard someone laughing to beat the band. Oh, say, hey, there it again.
There she is again. Maybe she'll go away.
What an interesting-looking bird. I'd like to meet her.
You don't mean it.
Sure. I'm interested in all of nature's creatures. Will you introduce me?
All right, you asked for it. Hey, Cook.
You mean me?
Oh, brother. Yes, I mean you. Come over here. I want you to meet somebody.
Oh, nice. Delighted. Charmed, I'm sure.
Cool, and I do mean cool.
Meet Coop to you.
Oh, pardon me, Miss Cool. This is Brother Buzz.
Oh, how do you, hello, Brother Buzz.
Well, how do you do? Tell me, is something wrong?
No. She's a kookaburra bird. She doesn't sing like some birds. She laughs all the time.
A kookaburra bird?
Sure. Haven't you ever heard the song? Come on, Coop. Ta-dum, ta-dum, dum-dum. Kookaburra sits on the old gum tree. Mary, Mary, queen of the bush is she. Laugh, kookaburra, gay your life must be. Laugh, kookaburra, gay your life must be.
What a wonderful song.
Oh, all the boys and girls in Australia know it, you know.
That's where she comes from, Brother Buzz. See, the song explains a lot. Kookaburra sits on the old gum tree. Now, the gum tree is a favorite place of the kookaburra. You know, that's the only place where kookaburras live, in Australia, except for those who live in zoos. A Mary, Mary, queen of the bush is she. And you see, the bush refers to the wild areas of plains and woods in Australia where the birds and animals live. The last kookaburra, well, we needn't go into that.
Australia must be a very happy place.
It's the home of some very unusual animals.
Really, Bonaparte?
Sure. Now, if you want to find out about some animals that are stranger than fiction, that would be a good place to start.
Say, that sounds like a real adventure.
There are even some animals that we all know about that have things so unusual about them you wouldn't believe it.
I'd like to hear about them, too.
All right, Buzz. Now then, quiet, you silly bird. Be still. Quiet.
Now we're going. You come too. To see some friends out at the zoo. Some are strangers, some you know, but we promise surprises wherever we go. And there's another stop we'll make because there's more friends waiting in the world of Brother Buzz. Hope you like the trip and are satisfied as we go on this magical ride. Everybody here?
We sure are, Pat.
I can hardly wait. Oh, no. She's not coming, too.
Right. I thought we were going to Australia.
Well, not exactly, Coop. In the zoo, we can see animals and birds from all over the world. Why, there are some fellows from your hemisphere right now.
Oh, I've never seen any of those queer birds in Australia.
We're birds. Listen to her.
Now, Bonaparte. You're right, Coop. There are no penguins in Australia that I know of. Oh, except perhaps in the Sydney Zoo. But penguins are found in the southern hemisphere of the world, and Australia is in the southern hemisphere.
Penguins only live where there is ice and snow, right, Pat?
Not exactly, Brother Buzz. Penguins live on seacoasts and in the southern hemisphere, as well as on the ice and snow by the South Pole.
Well, what's so strange about them, besides their looks, I mean?
I think they're cute.
I agree with you, Bonaparte. But do you know that penguins are one of the group of birds that cannot fly? Oh, once long ago they could, but not anymore.
How long ago, Pat?
Take a guess.
Oh, 100 years?
Nope, more.
1,000 years?
Guess again.
A million years?
A million years? Ooh.
Well, Bonaparte, the kookaburra is the closest. It is estimated that there was a type of penguin on the Earth as long as, not a million, but 50 million years ago. Oh, you see those flippers? Look, you see them? Now, they were once longer, and it is thought that they were once wings and the penguin could fly. But as time went on, the flippers became shorter and the penguin lost the power of flight. He was grounded, so he had to find another way to get around. Thought the penguin can't soar or glide with the breeze? He flies through the water with the greatest of ease.
Say, I know her. That's the emu. She comes from my home, Australia.
I told you we'd get to some of the creatures from Australia. It's the home of many a wonderful animal. Well, Coop, what do you know about the emu?
She's really a very funny-looking bird.
Well, we knew you were going to say that. Is that all you can tell us?
The emu can run very swiftly.
As fast as the ostrich?
No, Bonaparte, not as fast as the ostrich. The ostrich has been known to run as fast as 40 to 50 miles an hour.
The emu can run fast, too.
Oh, the emu is no slouch when it wants to pick them up and lay them down. I don't call 30 miles an hour slow, do you?
I bet you didn't know the emu is an excellent swimmer for a land bird.
That bird a swimmer?
And do you know something else? The emu is very curious. It's her downfall. Emus have been known to follow men around just to watch them. Curiosity may not have killed the cat, but many emus have died because of their friendliness and good nature have not been returned.
Well, for once, that kookaburra makes sense.
What about a rhyme for the emu, Pat?
Say, the emu is my neighbor, so I get to do the verse.
Be my guest, Kookaburra.
Emu, quite contrary, though you look a little scary, you can swim and you can run. Being an emu might be fun.
Hi, kookaburra. What's all this noise?
Well, hello, you silly bird.
How about introducing us to your friend, Coop?
This is the kiwi. He's really a bird that's stranger than fiction.
How do you do, one and all?
Are you from Australia, too?
It wouldn't be caught dead there. I'm from New Zealand, I am, Mike. In fact, I'm very well known in New Zealand. Might have heard if I do say so myself. Got me name from the natives of New Zealand. The Maoris named me the Kiwi on account of the fact that my cry falling on their ears sounded like Kiwi, Kiwi. Yeah, now, that's enough of that.
You must be a very ferocious bird.
Ferocious? Ferocious? Why, he lives in burrows and beneath tree roots. He only comes out at night.
I'm retiring and modest, as you might say.
Look, he's all covered with, with hair.
No, no feathers. Just because my feathers don't look like your feathers, it's no reason to get nasty.
He's got 2 bare patches under his wings.
His wings?
Oh, you can't see them because they're so small. Well, when he sleeps, he puts his head under his wing into one of the bare patches. I'll bet he looks like a big, fuzzy tennis ball.
I don't have to stand for this. You're right, Kiwi. Now look, folks.
Well, You wanted to know why he was stranger than fiction, didn't you?
You don't have to make fun of him.
Well, how could I help it? Do you know that when the female kiwi lays an egg...
All right. We don't have to go into that now, do we?
Have to sit on the egg until it's hatched.
Oh, come now.
Mr. Kiwi.
You mean to say that such an important bird is nothing but a babysitter? Oh. Somebody had to look after the little one. A rat-eyed, eh? A rat-eyed. I'd like to know a little bit more about this rat-eyed business.
Well, see for yourself.
Let me see. Oh, yes. That's us, all right.
Well, what does it say?
Well, I'll make it as simple as I can, shall I? It says in that book that a rat-eyed is a superordinary group of birds.
Superordinary indeed.
A superordinary group of birds that cannot fly, but are descended from birds that once had the power of flight. It's a common thing among rat-eyes for the male to hatch the egg. The ostrich does it, the emu does it, and I'm not ashamed to say, the kiwis do it too. In fact, while I admit I'm a funny sight, my bill's too long, my wings not right. I'm the pride of New Zealand, they think me a delight, so I'm happy to say that I'm quite a rat-eye. Some of the other creatures from Australia.
Australia has many creatures stranger than fiction, like the wallaroos.
You mean kangaroos?
Wallaroos are a kind of kangaroo who live in the mountainous areas of Australia. They have many things in common with the gray and the red kangaroo who live on the plains. They have large, fat legs that carry them forward in leaps and bounds, and big, strong tails that serve to balance them when they are jumping or when they want to stand upright. Kangaroos bound forward about 3 feet at a time.
Is that all that's unusual about them?
No, they're marsupials. In fact, all the marsupial animals live in the Australia area, with 2 exceptions, and we'll see one of them later.
Well, I know what a marsupial is. It's an animal that carries its baby in a pouch.
That's right, Bonaparte. And kangaroos are marsupial.
You know what a baby kangaroo is called? It's called a joey. It's very small when it's born and stays in the pouch for about 4 months while it's so tiny and healthy. Back in Australia, the mother kangaroo keeps chasing the joey so that at the first sign of danger, the joey can hop back into the pouch.
Well, what happens when the joey gets too big for the pouch?
Then the mother has to teach the joey to use its legs to bound away, just as the big kangaroos do. She doesn't face the joey, but jumps and makes him follow. That's how she teaches him.
Do kangaroos really box?
They certainly do, the silly things. They use their small front paws, but if they're in danger, they protect themselves by kicking up with their powerful hind legs while balancing on their tails. A funny lady, Mrs. Kangaroo. She can hop like bunnies do. And if her joey wants to hide, he can jump in the pouch and get a free ride.
Do any kangaroos live in the forests of Australia?
Good question, Buzz. Miss Kookaburra, with your permission, I'll tell them about the tree-climbing kangaroo.
Tree-climbing kangaroo?
Permission granted.
Yes, Buzz, there are kangaroos that climb trees. Oh, of course, they look a little different from the other kangaroos. To help them climb better, their front legs are nearly as big as their hind legs. And they have rough pads on their feet. In the hot forest of northern Australia, you can see the tree-climbing kangaroos high in the branches. There was a kangaroo who looked around and said, "I'm tired living on the ground." And so another kangaroo said,
If you don't like it, kid, go climb a tree.
And that's exactly what he did. The Australian treetops are the home of another unusual animal.
Oh, look, a teddy bear.
Well, a koala bear, like the kangaroo, it's a marsupial, but sometimes it carries its young koalas piggyback. The koalas are seldom seen drinking water. They live on the moist leaves of the gum tree.
They sure are cute fellows. Hey, Woody, you got a minute? We're looking at some really interesting animals.
Oh, I got no time to stop and chat, Buzz. I'm busy with my lodge and my beaver dam, and gathering a food pile for the winter.
Oh, come on, Woody. You can spare a minute. We're having such a good time. Hey, and tell that other beaver to come too.
Which beaver?
Why, that one, the one who looks like a duck. Or is it a beaver?
Well, that's not a beaver. That is a duck. Look at his nose.
Hey, look at its shape. Well, let's go over and see.
Hey, fella, stop going around pretending to be a beaver when you're not.
Well, I can't help it if I look a little bit like a beaver.
Well, what are you anyway?
I'm a duck-billed platypus. Me and the missus live in Australia. We have a nice cozy burrow in a nice cozy stream, where there the missus can lay her eggs. Eggs? Who ever heard of a beaver who laid eggs? I'm not a beaver.
He's not a beaver. Look at those feet. They're webbed like a duck's. And look at that tail. It hasn't got any hair on it. It looks like a beaver's tail.
The hair gets worn off our tails when we dig our burrow. We use our bills to dig for worms and small shellfish. Well, don't you get mud in your eyes? Nope. I've got a fold of skin at the base of my bill that protects my eyes when I'm digging in the mud. And know what? When I don't want to swallow my food right away, I can store it in my cheek pouches and have it at my leisure.
Where's your teeth? Can you gnaw on a tree?
I haven't got any teeth. I had a couple of small ones when I was little, but now they're gone, and all I have is horny ridges in my mouth.
Horny ridges? See, I told you he wasn't a beaver. Horny ridges. Oh.
Don't laugh at me. I'm very tender-hearted. Don't cry, little platypus. You're really quite wonderful, you know. Do you really think so?
Well, sure we do. Listen to this. I made it up specially for you. The duck-billed platypus, that gay deceiver, could be a duck and could be a beaver. But because of every unusual feature, you'll have to agree he's a special type creature.
Did you make that up especially for me?
I sure did.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful.
Listen, if you want to learn about an unusual animal, you should find out more about beavers. You know we're the only animal that changes its surroundings to suit ourselves. I don't know of any other creature except man who can accomplish this. We beavers like nice pools to swim in, and if the stream is not deep enough, why, we build dams and get the water level so it's just right for us. We pile sticks up till we get a good-sized heap and then gnaw out a cozy place.
And now, I know you cut down trees near the streams to build your dams, but what happens when you cut down all the trees near the stream?
Why, we dig canals inland to get to new ones. Now look at these fellas. They'd rather play than work. You won't catch them building dams or lodges.
They're otters, aren't they?
That's right, Bonaparte. And they're among the most playful of nature's creatures. Why, they'd rather slide down a muddy or icy bank than chop down trees. Now, there are two types of otters. One kind lives in fresh water. That's what these fellows are. Another kind of otter lives in the sea and stays there all of his life. It's hard to see too much of the sea otters. They're very shy of men, and they have good reason to be. You see, They were slaughtered by greedy men for their fur. They were killed in such great numbers that now they are almost extinct. You see, the cruel hunters killed male, female, and babies, not thinking or caring what the morrow would bring. And it almost brought a day when there were no more otters. So, now the sea otter is protected by law. Yes, laws had to be passed to keep people from being greedy and cruel. It's a shame that that's the way it has to be, but something had to stop the slaughter.
I have a nice little pouch for my young'uns, but the little critters like to ride on my tail, too.
The possum has a special way of protecting itself from its enemies. Instead of running, it just flops over on its side and plays dead.
That's where you get the expression, playing possum.
Buzz, do you know what's meant by a camel's march?
No, Pat. I've never heard such a phrase.
Well, Buzz, a camel will only carry a burden just so far, a distance of about, 15 miles. And after that, it refuses to go any further. So the Arabs who use camels for transport want to say how far an oasis or town is. They say, oh, it's 1 or 2 or 3 camel marches away.
Oh, I've heard that camels are mean and have bad tempers.
Well, Bonaparte, many times camels belong to owners who are mean and bad-tempered. Well, now, if an animal is beaten or treated badly, well, it just might happen that the animal might be a little mean and bad-tempered. But let me tell you something. There are cases of camels who have been treated kindly in captivity and have shown that they are really gentle. This is the camel of South America, the llama. Now, the Indians of South America have discovered that angry words and bad treatment just don't work with the llama. They have learned to direct these animals by gentle, soft words or low whistles. And you know what? The llama has proved that this really works. He is gentle and hard-working in return. I think there's a valuable lesson to be learned from the llama when we deal with nature's creatures. The gentleness and patience should always be used instead of bad temper and cruelty.
Why, you silly bird. Didn't you see yourself?
Right. But I always know that I'm a silly bird. In fact, in Australia, they call me the laughing jackass.
You shouldn't feel that way, Coop. Gee, I guess when you get right down to it, there are things about all people and creatures that make them different from each other. But that's what makes each and every one of us so special. And well, I think if we spent more time learning to understand one another instead of laughing at each other and making fun, the world would be a better place to live in.
You hear that, Coop? Why don't you make a little more effort to learn instead of laughing all the time?
I'll never change. I'm just a goofy old silly.
You know, Bonaparte, every time that Kookaburra tells herself that she'll never change, she loses one more chance to be a better bird.
I'm afraid you're right, Brother Buzz. We should always be willing to learn new ideas and think about them.
Well, that's one of the reasons why we have the Brother Buzz Club. And we tell our members that kindness and understanding very often begins with caring about all of the little animals that need our help. It grows as we help one another, other people, and other nations. So why not treat others as we would wish to be treated all the time? Well, goodbye for now. See you soon.